After my daughter revealed, "You should have died before Dad," an amazing journey of healing began. Emma stood in the kitchen, the heat of the summer afternoon lingering against her skin like a suffocating blanket. The sound of Lily's bedroom door slamming echoed through the small house, sending a jolt through her. This was becoming a routine, one that twisted Emma's heart into knots. Just weeks had passed since that awful day when her husband, Henry, a local hero and soldier, had been laid to rest, but it felt like an eternity. Lily had turned from the bubbling girl who brought laughter to their home into a shadow of herself, silent and withdrawn. "You forgot to take out the trash," Emma shouted, frustration boiling over as she wiped her hands on a dish towel. She could feel the weight of her own grief mingling with the anger simmering beneath her skin. "I said I'd do it later," Lily yelled from behind her closed door, her voice muffled but laced with a bitterness that cut deep. In that moment, the dam burst. Emma's heart raced. "It's not about the trash, Lily. You should have died before Dad." The words hung in the air, the heat of summer suddenly replaced with a chilling silence. Emma's breath caught in her throat, as if a physical weight had been thrust upon her. The pain in Lily's voice echoed back to her, revealing feelings both had buried in the depths of their heart. Emma's chest tightened, she felt a mix of anger and disbelief. "How could you say that?" But inside, all she could hear was the truth, her daughter's raw grief, tangled with an anger that was all too familiar. The words hit harder than any explosion she had faced during her military service. They shattered the fragile remains of their bond, stripping each of them bare. Days passed, each one stretching longer than the last. Their home, once filled with laughter, felt hollow. Emma could hardly function as a mother, enveloped in her grief, her attempts to reach out only met with more silence. It was as if a thick wall separated them. Heartbroken, she wondered if they could ever heal the fissures that ran so deep. Determined to bridge the chasm, Emma sought solace in the community that had once embraced her. She decided to start a support group for families like theirs, striving to honor Henry's memory by helping others. It was a chance for healing, both for herself and others grappling with loss. Nights at the community center turned into moments of connection. The warm smiles and understanding nods from fellow veterans and families awakened something within her, a glimmer of hope. Before we continue, I need to let you know about something important that's happening. YouTube has been making changes to the system, and many people are losing notifications from channels they follow. If you're enjoying the content, hit that bell and mark all notifications so you don't miss the next videos. And if you can drop a like, it really helps me with reach. Seriously, it makes a difference. Oh, let me know in the comments where you're watching from. I'm always curious to know who's on the other side of the screen. Now let's continue. But just as she started to feel a sense of belonging, misunderstandings crept into the light. At a community event meant to bring people together, an innocuous comment from a stranger touched on the raw nerve of loss. Emma found herself caught in a heated exchange, defending her daughter as Lily stood by, tears welling in her eyes. The moment was charged. Emma felt something break within her, the sadness, the anger, and love all collided in an unbearable explosion of emotion. "I'm not perfect," she shouted, her voice echoing in the quiet of the crowd. "But I love her, and we're both trying to find our way." With that, everything that had been left unsaid flooded between them, two hearts on the precipice, aching for reconnection yet scared to jump. Would this moment pull them together, or push them further apart? Emma stood, vulnerable, her heart racing with uncertainty, staring at Lily. In that fraught silence, both knew one thing: healing was a journey, and they had only just begun. The tension hung in the air, thick enough to choke them both. Emma searched her daughter's face for any spark of understanding, but all she saw was a storm brewing in Lily's eyes. It was a look of deep hurt, fear, and grief, an emotional cocktail that left Emma feeling utterly helpless. She felt like she was standing on a tightrope, with everything she loved precariously balanced on both sides. Lily turned away, her fist clenched at her side. Emma wanted to reach out, to pull her into an embrace and tell her it would be all right, but what could she say? The words felt trapped in her throat. "Mom. Lily finally spoke, her voice trembling. I didn't mean it. I don't know how to deal with all this. The truth of those words shattered Emma's heart. Here was her daughter, really unsure about how to navigate a world stripped of her father. Neither do I, honey, Emma replied, her voice barely above a whisper. But we can figure it out together. Lily paused, her shoulders shaking with silent sobs. And suddenly, it was as if the dam that had closed them off came crashing down. Emma stepped forward, closing the distance between them, and pulled Lily into her arms, holding her tightly. They stood there, wrapped in each other's grief. The warmth of their connection sparked something new. As Lily cried, Emma felt tears slip down her own cheeks, each drop a cathartic release of all the pain they had both held inside. Can we talk about Dad? Lily asked between sobs. Emma nodded, relieved. Yes, let us do that. They settled into the worn-out couch in the living room, surrounded by the shadows of memories. The air smelled faintly of Henry's cologne, a scent now interwoven with their sadness. Together, they pulled out the photo albums, the ones filled with laughter frozen in time, their family, together at the park, silly faces at the beach, Henry in his service uniform holding a proud Lily. Lily's fingers traced the photos, each image rekindling a memory. Remember when Dad taught me how to ride my bike? She mumbled, a fragile smile breaking through her tears. Emma's heart swelled, grateful to see the slightest light break through. Yes, she said, chuckling softly. He was so proud when you finally did it without training wheels. You should have seen his face. He was more excited than you. They laughed together, a soft and fragile sound, but it was enough. It felt like a bridge being built, piece by piece. But the laughter soon faded, replaced by heavy silence once again. Mom, what if I forget him? Lily asked, an edge of panic creeping into her voice. Emma's heart skipped a beat. The thought had crossed her mind too often. You want tea, she said fiercely. We'll keep talking about him. We'll share stories, and when we're ready, we can find a way to honor him. Lily nodded, though doubt lingered in her eyes. Feeling a surge of determination, Emma pulled out a small box from a shelf above the fireplace, a box Henry had filled with mementos from his life. Let us go through this together. Maybe it will help. As they opened the box, memories tumbled out like fragile treasures, each one an echo of love, sacrifice, and laughter. Emma glanced at Lily, who had visibly softened, eyes wide in anticipation. But just as they began to explore that world of memories, the doorbell rang, jarring them back to reality. Emma's heart sank. It was likely the neighbors, reminding them about the upcoming Memorial Day Planning Committee meeting, the one she had almost forgotten to attend. Should we go? Lily asked, clearly not eager for more conversations about Henry, especially with strangers. Emma hesitated. Her first instinct was to avoid the confrontation, to stay cocooned in the safety of their home, but she sensed this moment could be important. What do you think? Should we face it together? Lily met her gaze, uncertainty clouding her features. Emma hoped that whatever choice they made, it would be one more step toward mending the pieces that were still so broken. Let's face it. Together, Lily finally said, the newfound bravery flickering in her eyes. And as they rose to meet the world outside, Emma felt a rush of hope. Because when healing starts, it does so in unexpected moments that remind us of our strength, our connection, and the unbreakable bond of a family. But what neither of them knew was how that meeting would challenge their healing journey in ways they could never anticipate. As Emma and Lily made their way to the door, a palpable sense of dread loomed over them. They took a moment to glance at each other, their eyes locked in a silent promise of support. Emma swallowed hard, her heart pounding as she opened the door and stepped into the world outside. The neighborhood was alive with noise, kids laughing, and lawnmowers buzzing under the hot afternoon sun. The familiar scene felt strange now, as if the vibrant colors of life had somehow dimmed since Henry's passing. People nodded at Emma and Lily as they passed by, their expressions mixing sympathy with the awkwardness of knowing how to approach the wounded family. Well, here we go, Emma murmured, gently guiding Lily forward. They walked towards the community hall where the meeting was set to take place. The smell of freshly cut grass mingled with the scent of blooming flowers, both comforting and painful, reminding them of joyful seasons that now felt distant. Inside the hall, chatter filled the air, voices drifting in and out of focus as Emma and Lily entered the room. Several neighbors mingled, but their laughter felt discordant today. Emma spotted Mrs. Henderson, a longtime friend, and rushed towards her, hoping to anchor herself in something familiar. "Emma." "Lily." "I'm so glad you're here." Mrs. Henderson's voice was warm, but Emma saw the sadness in her eyes. "How are you holding up?" "Trying our best," Emma replied, forcing a smile. She could feel the weight of her own words, the truth of their reality sitting heavy in her chest. Lily stood close to her mother, her eyes darting around the room, absorbing all the faces. She spotted a group of other kids, playing some kind of game. A faint smile flickered on her lips, but apprehension quickly snuffed it out. Emma noticed it and took her daughter's hand, giving it a reassuring squeeze. It was time to make their way to the front of the room, where the meeting was set to begin. Emma felt the eyes of the community upon them. These were the people who had supported them in the past, but now they felt like a spotlight, illuminating their grief. As the meeting commenced, people spoke about logistical details: the memorial service, choosing speakers, deciding on flowers. Emma nodded along, but her mind drifted to her own helplessness. Suddenly, she felt Lily's small hand squeeze hers tightly. Looking down, she saw her daughter's face pale, and her breathing had quickened. "Mom, I can't," Lily whispered, her voice shaking. A surge of protectiveness washed over Emma. She stood tall and turned to the gathered crowd. "Lily and I need a moment." Without waiting for approval, she led her daughter out of the hall and into the quiet corner of the hall's hallway. "Lily, what's wrong?" Emma knelt down to meet her at eye level, her heart racing at the sight of her daughter's distress. "I just don't want to," Lily began, but her voice trailed off. Tears welled up, and Emma wrapped her arms around her, pulling her close as the truth spilled out. "Why does everyone keep talking about Dad? Why can't we just talk about him when we want to, instead of when they want us to?" Each word poured out, raw and honest. Emma could only hold her tighter. "I know, sweetie, I know. It feels overwhelming. But these people care about us, they want to honor him too," Emma said, her voice soft but steady. Lily pulled back, looking into her mother's eyes. "What if they don't understand? What if I lose my memories because they're all just very sad?" Hearing this, a memory sparked in Emma's mind. She realized what needed to be done. They could find a way to channel this grief into something more tangible, a way to keep Henry's spirit alive without it feeling forced. "What if we made a community project?" Emma suggested, a light of hope brightening her expression. "Something that encourages sharing stories about him? We could create a memory wall, a book, anything that lets everyone know how incredible he was, how he still is through us." Lily's eyes widened, curiosity breaking through her doubt. "Like a scrapbook for everyone to add their stories?" "Yes. And we can decorate it with photos and drawings. It could be our way of celebrating him, together." As Emma smiled, a plan took shape between them, a way to steer their grief into something flourishing, a path towards healing. Just then, the door to the hall swung open, and the meeting's noise carried into the hallway. Lily hesitated, glancing back toward the gathering. Emma felt a surge of warmth wash over her as she realized that even if fear lingered nearby, so too did the possibility of connection and understanding. "Together?" Lily asked softly, her spirit rising. "Together," Emma confirmed, squeezing her daughter's hand once more. But just as they started to head back, a familiar face broke through the crowd. Someone Emma hadn't been prepared to see, someone from Henry's past, stepping forward with an air of urgency. "Emma, we need to talk," he said, drawing both their gazes. Suddenly, all the plans and hopes they were building wavered in the balance, leaving Emma wondering what this unexpected encounter could mean for their journey ahead. Emma's heart sank at the sight of Daniel, Henry's old college friend. His face was a mix of concern and urgency, and it reminded her of the long nights they spent laughing about shared memories. Now, it felt like a cruel twist of fate to see him right after they had tried to carve out a moment of hope. "Can we step outside?" Daniel asked, glancing to where the chatter from the hall spilled out into the corridor. Emma nodded, instinctively drawing Lily closer. "Is it serious?" she asked, concern etched in her voice. "It's complicated," he replied, his eyes darting back toward the hall. With each step they took outside, Emma felt the warmth of the sun drenching her skin, but the chill in her bones refused to let go. They moved into a quieter part of the yard where the laughter of children floated over them like a distant echo. "Emma, I know this is a lot to ask, but I need you to listen carefully." Daniel's tone shifted, turning more serious. "I've just come from a meeting with some folks who have been trying to settle Henry's affairs." "His affairs? Why would you?" Emma's voice wobbled. "What do you mean?" "They found some things that you and I need to address. There's more to Henry's legacy than we thought, things he wanted to keep private." Emma's stomach churned at the heavy words. Just as she began to question Daniel further, she noticed Lily tugging at her sleeve, her expression filled with uncertainty. "Can I go play with my friends, Mom?" Lily asked, hesitating as if sensing the gravity of the conversation. "Just a minute, darling." "Stay close," Emma replied, trying to keep her voice steady while suppressing the sense of foreboding drumming in her chest. "Emma," Daniel's voice lowered, punctuated by urgency. "This isn't easy for me to say, but Henry was involved in something that could affect you both. And you deserve to know the truth. It's about a financial situation, something that he didn't want to burden you with," but Emma stepped back, shaking her head slowly. "I don't want to hear it. Henry is gone, Daniel. I'm not prepared to dive into anything more than what we already have to deal with." "I understand, but this involves his wishes, Emma. As his closest friend, I have an obligation to be transparent with you," he insisted, his voice filled with compassion. At that moment, the door to the hall swung open again, and the noise amplified. Emma's head spun back to the safety of the crowd where conversation screamed of sympathetic understanding. Yet, they felt a million miles away. "What would Henry want me to do? Tell me," she blurted out, her voice rising above the ambient noise. Daniel took a breath. "He wanted to make sure you and Lily had everything you needed to start fresh, life insurance policies, investments, things he intended to keep aside for you both. And there's something else I'm afraid to mention." "Just say it," Emma whispered, the words creeping out like a chant in her mind. Lily stared up at her mother, sensing the tension, her face a mirror of confusion and worry. "Emma, he spoke of something he wanted to establish. A foundation for kids. It wasn't just sentimental, it was a mission. He'd even started a plan for it." Before his voice trailed off, the weight of his unfinished thought leaving a lingering silence. Emma felt all the air leave her lungs. A foundation? For kids? Her heart ached with anger and pride, pulling her in contradictory directions. "But he never mentioned it. He never told me." "Maybe he didn't want to worry you, or perhaps he thought you'd never need it," Daniel replied gently. "But now you can go forward in his honor." Lily stepped closer, squeezing her mother's hand. "What's a foundation, Mom?" Emma blinked back tears, trying to gather the fragmented pieces of her heart. Would this legacy be more than just a memory now? Emma felt both hope and exhaustion, like they were walking a tightrope between the past and an uncertain future. It was a lot to process, but as the sun started to set behind clouds scattered across the sky, a thought flickered in her mind: could this foundation be a way to carry Henry's spirit with them? Can we give him that? Emma whispered, her heart racing with potential. Daniel nodded, but concern remained in his brow. "There's more to discuss." Just then, a cheer erupted from the hall as a balloon popped, drawing their attention away. Emma and Lily exchanged a glance, their bond taut with unspoken fears and aspirations. "Let us go inside," Emma suggested, her voice more sure now. "But together, we'll figure this out, won't we?" As they turned to head back, Emma felt a flicker of determination mixed with dread. What else was hidden in the shadows of Henriette's intentions? But even more unsettling was the thought of how much life had left to unravel. As they stepped back into the hall, the laughter and music swirled around them, a stark contrast to the weight that hung in Emma's chest. She felt displaced, as if a thin veil separated her from the bustling crowd. For a moment, the laughter echoed mockingly in her ears. It felt out of place, inappropriate even. The sight of familiar faces, all smiling and sharing memories, only intensified her feeling of isolation. Lily was still holding on to her hand, glancing up at her with wide eyes, unaware of the whirlwind of emotions swirling inside her mother. Emma tried to project her usual warmth, but the corners of her mouth barely lifted. She was grateful to have her daughter, but the uncomfortable knowledge Daniel had just shared made each heartbeat feel weighted with sorrow. "Mom, look. The games." Lily pointed excitedly to a booth filled with colorful prizes, tugging at Emma's hand. "Can we?" Emma took a steadying breath, forcing herself to focus on Lily's joy. "All right, sweetie. Just for a little bit." She squeezed Lily's hand encouragingly, wanting to share in her excitement despite the storm brewing inside her. They walked over to a booth, and for a brief moment, the mundane joy of picking out prizes made Emma's heart momentarily lift. Lily squealed with delight as she won a small stuffed bear, its worn fur soft against her cheek. Emma felt a twinge of normalcy wash over her. This was what they needed, small moments of joy amidst the chaos. "Look at him, Mom. He's perfect." Lily cradled the bear as if it were the most precious thing in the world. Emma smiled, the sight tugging at her heart, even as Daniel's revelation loomed in the back of her mind like a thundercloud waiting to burst. When they turned to leave the booth, they found Daniel still lingering nearby, watching them with an expression that was difficult to read. There was concern, yes, but also a hint of determination. "Emma, can I talk to you for a minute?" His voice was low but urgent. "Do we have to?" She responded, a heat rising in her chest. The last thing she wanted right now was another heavy conversation. But Lily was still occupied, happily hugging her bear, and the moment felt almost serene for just a heartbeat. "Yes," Daniel said softly but firmly. "This is important. I promise I won't take long." Emma sighed, her heart heavy, but nodded. "Fine. Just let us find a quieter spot." They moved to a small hallway off to the side, away from the cheerful chaos. Emma crossed her arms, not out of anger but self-defense. She was bracing for whatever news or complexities Henry had left behind. "Look," Daniel said, his tone earnest, "I know you're overwhelmed. But there are legalities involved in setting up that foundation Henry wanted. Conditions he placed. It's not just a matter of signing a few papers." "What do you mean conditions?" Emma's voice was clipped, worry intertwining with her frustration. "He wanted to keep certain things discreet. There's a large sum allocated, but it's tied to specific goals he envisioned. You'll need to be ready to commit to it fully, time, energy, the works. This isn't just about money, it's about the legacy he wanted to build." Emma's stomach flipped. She had thought, maybe foolishly, that aligning Henry's foundation with their lives would be a healing venture, one full of hope, simplicity, and homage to his memory. But now it felt like a daunting undertaking. "And what if I'm not ready for that?" she whispered, feeling vulnerability seep into her composure. Daniel's eyes softened, displaying the decade of friendship they shared. "Then we'll figure out how to honor his wishes together. I promise you're not alone in this, Emma. But you need to decide if this is a path you want to take." Emma's heart raced, her thoughts spiraling. Could she take on such responsibility? Had Henry truly envisioned such a complicated legacy? Suddenly, Lily appeared, her small face lit up like the sun. "Mom, look. I named him Mr. Fuzzy." Emma dropped to one knee, putting on a brave smile, the innocence of her daughter breaking through the fog. "Mr. Fuzzy, huh? I love that name. But..." As she hugged Lily close, the weight of what lay ahead continued to press against her. The flicker of determination she felt wasn't entirely extinguished, but the path was steep and shadowy. As she glanced at Daniel, she realized that the journey would not just challenge her, but reshape everything they had ever known. The question lingered in the air, hanging between them like an unbroken thread: what would it take to honor Henry's wishes, and more importantly, at what cost? With Lily's laughter filling the air, Emma stood, resolute but trembling, ready to confront the unknown ahead. Emma took a deep breath, trying to steady herself. She could feel the weight of the conversation settling over her like a thick fog. Beside her, Lily was joyfully bouncing Mr. Fuzzy, oblivious to the seriousness that gripped her mother's heart. "Mom, can we go over there?" Lily pointed eagerly to a giant inflatable slide, its bright colors beckoning children like a siren's call. Emma hesitated, glancing at Daniel. His eyes were still focused on her, waiting. It made her feel exposed, as if all her worries were on display for him to see. But Lily's excitement was impossible to ignore. "Okay, let us go," Emma finally said, determined to carve out a bit of normalcy for her daughter, even while she battled her own anxieties. They made their way toward the slide, the laughter of children filling the air. Emma watched as Lily rushed up the steps, her little legs pumping with fervor. All the worries faded momentarily as she cheered her on. "Go, Lily. You got this," Emma shouted, her voice bubbling with encouragement. For a fleeting moment, she felt the heaviness lift. Lily reached the top and waved down at her, the sun catching her wide smile. Emma could feel the warmth in her chest grow, even while dark thoughts lingered in the corners of her mind. As Lily took her first slide down, Emma couldn't help but let out a gasp of amusement. The joy radiating from her daughter consumed her. "See? You're flying." But as the thrill of the moment faded, the conversation with Daniel crept back in. She looked over, catching Daniel watching with a soft expression. He smiled slightly as if he understood her struggle. It wasn't just about Henry anymore, it was about what that legacy meant for all of them. "Emma," Daniel called when he noticed her gaze lingering too long. "I'm here whenever you're ready to talk more about the foundation. We can sort this out together." "Thanks, Daniel," she replied, forcing a smile, but inside, uncertainty churned. The entire idea of a foundation felt overwhelming. Would she be enough? Could she really turn this into a positive, meaningful journey for Lily? Lily came running back, squealing in delight. "Did you see me, Mom? Mr. Fuzzy loved it too." The bear waved in the air, clearly joining in on the excitement. "It was amazing." Emma beamed, embracing her daughter. Seeing Lily's joy was an anchor. It reminded her of the innocence they still had, the love still surrounding them, even if it felt fragile. "Can we do it again?" Lily pleaded. Emma nodded, feeling a flicker of hope reignite. Perhaps diving into the lightheartedness of the moment was exactly what they needed. But as they moved toward the slide for another round, a familiar face caught her eye across the way, a woman from her past, someone she hadn't seen in years. The sight struck her like a bolt of lightning, electrifying her thoughts. Memories flooded back, memories she wasn't sure she was ready to face. "Mom?" Lily tugged at her sleeve. "Are you okay?" Emma turned away from the woman, feeling the ground shift beneath her. "Yeah, I'm fine, honey. Just a little distracted." "What's wrong?" Lily tilted her head, concern washing over her little face. Emma squeezed her daughter's hand and made a quick decision. "You go ahead up the slide again. I just need a minute. But I want to stay with you." Lily protested, but Emma didn't waver. "I promise I'll be right here," she said, urging her daughter to climb the stairs once again. As Lily resumed her joyful ascent, Emma felt a rush of determination and fear entwined in her chest. Her heart raced as she spotted the woman again, unable to look away. What did this all mean? Did this person hold answers, questions she hadn't even known she had? The path to honor Henry felt rocky, and suddenly, finding out what this woman knew could change everything. As Emma stood there, gathering her courage, one question echoed louder than the laughter around her: was she truly ready to confront the ghosts of her past? The noise of the carnival faded slightly as Emma stood frozen, her heart pounding in her chest. There she was, the woman who had been part of a life Emma thought she had buried long ago. Memory surged, funny moments, painful ones, the complexities of their friendship. But now, it felt like staring at a ghost, a portal to a past she wasn't sure she could handle. "Mom. Look at me." Lily's voice rang out, breaking her trance just as she was about to turn back to her daughter. Emma forced a smile, cheering for Lily once more. The vibrant energy of the carnival was still there, but it felt distant now, an electric hum beneath her chaotic thoughts. With each cheer, Emma tried to ground herself. She abandoned an impulse to retreat but knew she needed to confront this interruption. It was now or never. With a deep breath, she started walking toward the woman, her legs shaky but her resolve firm. "Clara?" Emma called out hesitantly, the name slipping from her lips like a secret. The woman turned, surprise flickering across her face, followed by recognition. "Emma. Wow, it's been so long." Clara's voice was almost too warm for the chill spiraling through Emma. She approached slowly, uncertain of how to engage after all these years. "How have you been?" Emma asked, even though the question felt loaded. "Busy with life, you know?" Clara shrugged, but her eyes told a different story, one filled with unspoken words. "I heard about Henry the First. I'm so sorry. I can't imagine how hard this has been." The mention of Henry felt like a punch in the gut. Emma nodded, forcing herself to breathe through the grief that threatened to spill out. "Thanks. It has its moments." Clara glanced over at Lily, who was now scrambling up the slide again. "She looks just like him," she said softly. Something flickered inside Emma. Was it resentment? Pain? Was Clara here to dredge up the past that she had fought so hard to escape? Or was there something more she needed to uncover, some connection they had shared that could help her now? Do you know anything about the foundation?" Emma found herself asking, the words tumbling out before she could catch them. It was a leap, one that surprised even her. A hint of hesitation crossed Clara's face. "Actually, I do. I came to talk to you about it. Henry had big plans, and there's a lot you might not know." Emma's heart raced again, this time with a mix of dread and curiosity. "What do you mean? Maybe we should find a quieter place to discuss this? It's important. It could change everything for you, for Lily," Clara replied, her tone now serious. Emma's eyes darted back to Lily. She was putting her arms in the air, zooming down the slide with a squeal of delight. That joy seemed miles away from this tangled emotional moment. But what Clara was suggesting could hold the key to understanding Henry's dream, something Emma felt unqualified to embrace alone. "Okay," Emma agreed, her voice barely above a whisper. "Let us talk." With each step toward a quieter corner of the carnival, doubts flooded her. Would Clara's revelations be an anchor pulling her closer to a legacy she was terrified of, or a lifeline, guiding her through her grief into something meaningful for Lily? As they moved away from the laughter and chaos, the air thickened with expectation. Emma knew she was crossing into unfamiliar territory, a place where truths could shatter her fragile peace or help it evolve. What if this conversation held the answers she needed to navigate the challenges ahead? What if it could reshape not just her understanding of Henry but also her ability to create a secure and loving future for Lily? As they settled onto a bench, the weight of potential answers loomed overhead like storm clouds gathering after a bright day. "Okay, Clara," Emma said, her voice steady but her heart pounding. "Tell me everything." Clara took a deep breath, her eyes scanning the lively carnival around them before settling back on Emma. Henry had a vision for the foundation, a way to honor not just his legacy, but a future for Lily. "It's not just about the money, Emma. It was about empowering kids who have faced the kind of challenges Lily has." Emma's heart twisted at the mention of the foundation. Henry had often spoken of it with excitement in his eyes, dreaming of what it could become. But here they were, two women tangled in different versions of the same story, and Emma was terrified of what these plans could mean for her. "What do you mean, empowering kids?" Emma asked, her voice barely above the sound of laughter in the distance. Her hands gripped the bench, heart racing. "How could it change anything? Clara leaned closer, her expression serious. Henry envisioned programs for kids dealing with loss, ones that would provide not just therapy, but community. He wanted them to know they're not alone. There's already groundwork laid, and they need someone who can carry it forward. That someone is you, Emma. A rush of emotions crashed over Emma. Trepidation, anger, disbelief mixed with a flicker of hope. Me? I can't just suddenly take over a foundation. I'm not qualified. I barely kept it together since her voice cracked, and she looked away, the intense energy of the carnival contrasting sharply with her internal turmoil. Yes, you can, Clara urged, her voice firm yet gentle. You're doing it every day for Lily. You've kept this family together when it would have been so easy to fall apart. This foundation could be a way to keep Henry's spirit alive, and in the process, help so many children. A hot tear slipped down Emma's cheek. But I don't want to be tied to him like that. I wanted to move on. I wanted to heal? Clara finished, her eyes softening. I get it. But isn't this a way to do that? To transform your grief into something bigger, something impactful? Emma took a moment, letting the weight of Clara's words settle in. Her heart constricted at the thought of stepping into Henry's shoes. What if I fail? What if I can't do it? The fear crept back in, wrapping around her like a cold shadow. Then you get back up and try again, Clara replied, a smile breaking through the tension. You're not alone in this, Emma. You have helped people who loved Henry and want to see this vision realized. And more importantly, you have Lily. This would show her strength, show her how you can turn pain into purpose. Lily's laughter echoed in the distance, a balm to Emma's worried heart. She thought about the tiny hands in hers, the sparkle in those bright eyes, always asking questions, always hungry for connection. Emma nodded slowly, uncertainty mingling with resolve. I'll consider it. But I need to know more about what Henry planned for the foundation and how I can be a part of it. Clara's smile widened. I can help with that. There are meetings, proposals. You'll learn as you go. And you won't have to do it alone. Emma glanced back toward the carnival, where kids were spinning in the air on rides, faces lit up with joy. The image tugged at something deep inside her, a flicker of hope amidst the heaviness. Maybe this could be a turning point, a chance to redefine her life. But if I do this, I want to honor him, not just carry his shadow, Emma pressed, a fierce determination igniting inside her. Clara nodded. That's exactly why you should do it. It's not about him, it's about you and Lily and the kids who need hope, too. As they began to discuss details, Emma's thoughts sharpened. The conversation felt like a key turning in a locked door she'd thought would always be closed. She couldn't ignore the excitement bubbling beneath her fears. But as Clara spoke, Emma couldn't shake a lingering question, would stepping into this new role bring her closer to healing, or would it pull her deeper into the depths of grief she was still trying to escape? With that thought, her heart beat loudly in her chest. What would this journey truly mean for her and for Lily? As Emma listened, she realized she was on the brink of something not just important, but transformative. What if the very thing that scared her most turned out to be her biggest strength? Emma's breath caught in her throat as Clara's words sank in. The idea of the foundation, something Henry had dreamed of, sounded both exhilarating and terrifying. It was almost too much to bear. Would she be able to meet those expectations? Would she be strong enough to carry such a legacy? Can I really do this? She asked, her heart racing. It felt like standing at the edge of a cliff, peering down into unknown depths. Yes, you can, Clara reaffirmed. It's about taking one step at a time. And remember, you have Lily beside you. This could be your chance to show her how to rise from the ashes of sorrow. Lily's laughter rang out again, carefree and full of life, radiating from the nearby bouncy castle. Emma's heart swelled at the sound. She imagined Lily, a beacon of hope, becoming the very foundation as spirit. If only she could channel that same strength. Let us outline some ideas tonight, Clara suggested, pulling out her phone. I'll send you details on the Foundation's vision statement, and we can brainstorm how you can add your personal touch. We need to harness your energy and your story, Emma. Harness my story? Emma chuckled. There's not much to tell, honestly. Emma, Clara said, leaning in with intensity, you have more to share than you realize. Every struggle, every moment of doubt, every small victory, it all matters. Sharing your journey could connect with others in a way you might not see yet. Emma felt something inside her shift, a small ember of hope catching fire. Maybe being open about her struggles could transform her own pain into something meaningful. Okay. I'll think about it. Clara's eyes shone with excitement. That's the spirit. Imagine a workshop where kids can paint or write about their feelings. You could bring in guest speakers, host creative sessions. Emma stopped her. That sounds incredible, but I have no idea how to organize any of that. What if I mess up? Emma, messing up is part of the process, Clara replied gently. It's okay to stumble. It's how we grow. You'll learn from each step. Remember, you have a whole community ready to support you. As they continued discussing ideas, an unexpected warmth spread through Emma. The carnival music faded into the background, and she tuned into Clara's enthusiasm. Each suggestion sparked visions of laughter-filled rooms led by kids like Lily, finding friendship through art and expression. Imagine this foundation as a safe space, a home away from home for them, Clara said. A place where children can process grief, share their pain, and find strength together. Emma closed her eyes for a moment, visualizing Lily in that space, surrounded by friends who understood her struggles. Would it feel like belonging? Would it help Lily feel less alone in her grief? Okay. I want to explore this, she said, her voice stronger than before. But I need your guidance, Clara. If I'm doing this, I want it to be right. Of course. We'll create a plan, step by step, Clara assured her, warmth radiating from her smile. The first step is getting to the heart of your vision. Why does this matter to you? Emma's heart thudded in her chest. I want Lily to know that it's okay to feel everything, to laugh, to cry, to be angry. Everything she is feeling is valid. Exactly. Clara encouraged. When we face our emotions, we grow stronger. Let us make that the Foundation's core. As the night wore on, Emma felt the flickering light of purpose growing within her. The fear gently receded into the background. This was about more than grief, it was about transforming hurt into healing, not just for herself, but for Lily and countless other children. But just as excitement began to bubble up, a nagging thought invaded her mind again. Could she carry the weight of this vision, or would the pressure crush her beneath its expectations? The uncertainty lingered like an echo in the air. Emma took a deep breath, glancing back at the distant sound of joyful laughter. Perhaps this journey was just beginning, and she'd need to face not only the challenges of the Foundation but also those within herself. What would she find when she looked closely into those depths? And was she truly ready to confront the shadows that lay hidden beneath her resolve? As the festivities of the carnival continued around them, Emma felt a shift within. With Clara's encouragement fueling her desire, she started to picture a brighter future, not just for herself, but for Lily and other children carrying the weight of their grief. This foundation could be a bridge, bringing them together to heal through shared experiences and creativity. Lily came bounding towards her, Mr. Fuzzy clutched tightly under her arm, a bright smile lighting up her face. Mom, can we get cotton candy? She chirped, joy radiating from her like sunlight. Emma looked at her daughter, at the innocence that still thrived despite everything. Of course, sweet pea. But first, I need to share something with you, Emma said, kneeling down to meet her at eye level. I'm thinking about starting something special in Dad's name, a foundation where kids like you can feel safe and loved, where they can talk about their feelings and express themselves. Lily's eyes widened, curiosity peaking. Really, Mom? Like a happy place? Yes. Emma's heart swelled with pride. A place where you can meet friends who understand what you're going through, who have also lost someone they love. We can create art, tell stories, and help others feel less alone. Lily's face broke into a beaming smile. I want to help. Can I be part of it? Emma's joy overflowed. Absolutely. We'll do it together. There was power in their shared mission, something larger than their individual grief. As they moved back toward the main gathering, Emma felt a renewed sense of purpose. This was at the pivot toward healing, a path paved with love, acceptance, and connection. Amid laughter and familiar faces, the warmth of the community welcomed them back, encouraging support swirling like the scent of popcorn in the air. Emma spotted Clara nearby, who approached with an excited grin. Have you told her? Yes. Lily's on board, Emma replied, her smile reflecting the light she found in being a team with her daughter. That's amazing. Clara beamed, pulling them both into a hug. I can feel this is going to be something special. Let's plan a kickoff event, a day for everyone to come together and celebrate Henry's life while introducing the foundation. Emma nodded, inspired by the momentum. Yes. A day where kids can come and express themselves however they feel. We can have art stations, storytelling circles at LLB Fun. As they brainstormed, plans formed, and the excitement for what lay ahead lit up Emma's heart. But even as joy bubbled up, the lingering questions about honoring Henry's legacy still loomed. What would this look like long-term? Could she manage it alongside her own healing? The evening sky darkened, colorful lights illuminating the carnival grounds. Laughter echoed through the air, weaving hope and joy into the fabric of their night. As the festivities continued, Emma realized they couldn't deny their grief, but now, it could push them toward connection rather than isolation. Stepping onto a small stage set up for speeches, a mic awaited her. The crowd quieted, glancing her way. Emma felt her throat tighten with nerves but quickly extinguished the fear creeping in. She had something to say. Thank you all for being here, she began, her voice steady. Tonight, we've come together not only to celebrate a wonderful man, my husband Henry, but to remind ourselves that, even in loss, we can find ways to build something beautiful. Her gaze landed on Lily, who gave an encouraging smile. We are launching a foundation dedicated to honoring his spirit by supporting kids who have faced grief. This will be a place where we can express our feelings, share our stories, and help each other heal. As she spoke, emotion welled within her, wrapping her in warmth, the kind that comes from knowing you're not alone. The neighbors nodded, some wiping away unshed tears. We will create together, Emma added, her voice tinged with excitement. This journey won't just be mine or Lily's, it will be ours. Each of you will help us weave this tapestry of hope. Cheers erupted, lighting the night with applause. The world felt alive again, a spark igniting with camaraderie. Lily practically bounced on her feet beside her, and Emma reached down to take her hand, drawing strength from their connection. The bond between them had grown not just in love but now, in purpose. Together, we'll honor Dad's memory. Lily yelled, her enthusiasm lifting Emma higher. Let us have fun and help others. Together, they embraced the moment, laughter ringing like a melody as they carried the spirit of Henry into the future. No longer would silence weigh them down, healing would come as they wrapped their lives around his memory while creating something new. As the night wrapped around them, the flickers of lights became stars shimmering above, and hope blossomed. They stepped back into the carnival, hand in hand, ready to embrace whatever adventures lay ahead. What was once a path choked by grief had transformed into a bright avenue of endless possibilities. Emma smiled at Lily, feeling a newfound sense of tranquility. They were ready. But within the spark of new beginnings buzzed another truth: each step forward would be a leap of faith, tempered by doubt yet underscored by love. The journey was only beginning, and every challenge would bring them closer together, stronger, healed, and forever connected. This was only the start, a promise to keep the spirit of the past alive while building a legacy that shouted warmth and love into the world. So, now, dear friends watching, if you believe in the power of transformation and community, it's time to take action. Subscribe immediately to the channel so you don't miss the next exclusive stories that uplift and inspire. Leave a like now to feed the algorithm and grow our family of storytellers. Comment below, share your reactions and feelings about this heartfelt ending. What touched your heart? Share instantly this video with at least 5 friends who need to see this transformation. Together we can make a difference. You need to subscribe now. This is the moment to show your support. Don't wait not even one more second to share. Together, let us honor the bonds of family and the beauty of healing.